Promotional consideration paid for by the following. Webster Ace Hardware and Farm Supply are generous sponsors for today's podcast. They have been a family-owned business for 27 years. This helpful hardware store sells items such as archery, Ariat clothing and boots, Wrangler jeans, case knives, Hammond's candies, and live fishing gear. They also have a full selection of hardware, RV supply, propane, Ben Moore, Royal & Clark, and Kenningston paints. You need a barn or fencing job done? Custom barn kits and roofing metal are provided at your local Ace Hardware store. What about a new grill for the yard? Traeger, Big Green Egg, Weber, and Blackstone are found here, along with all the accessories to go with them. Stock up your workshop with DeWalt, Milwaukee, or Craftsman tools. They got you covered. Remember to go to ace.com to shop their entire line to have items shipped directly to the store. Whether your water is supplied by a public municipality or a private well, for residential or commercial use, Purified Water Services LLC has the solutions to provide you with simply clean water. We offer a complete line of professional water filtration equipment and accessories. Soft water makes a difference you can see and feel. Water heater and appliances last longer with less maintenance. Iron and H2S filters eliminate iron stains and offensive rotten egg odors and protects your water softener equipment from iron fouling. No matter what your problem is, Purified Water Services LLC has a solution. Contact Kenny Williams at 352-446-2709. Guys, welcome back to another edition of the Goblay Show. I'm your host, Billy Goble, and today we have a special guest. He's a former Raider, went on to Florida State and played linebacker there and did a great job there, and then moved on to his professional career, which is now with the Dallas Cowboys. Please welcome Kendall Smith. Kendall,
what's
great
going
to see
on?
you, man.
How you doing, man? Good seeing you too.
A long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
So, you know, you played at Florida State. Got your win against the Gators. Did y'all have any cool? Because I know y'all played Miami every year. Mm-hmm. Do you have any guys on Miami you're like, man, I love that guy's pretty cool, even though we're supposed to be like rivals? Is it anybody else in college football that you're like, man, this guy's like, I really like this guy, even though we're playing against him?
I never really have a relationship with anybody that I played against that went to other schools. I knew a few cats that was at Florida because we got recruited together.
Right.
You know? Like a lot of the kids on that Miami team, I didn't know. We didn't like them.
Yeah, true.
And so, you don't build no relationships with them.
Right.
And in today's time, with social media, that's how a lot of these kids connect with each other. And,
right.
And social media wasn't big when I was in college. We had Facebook and, Instagram was just not getting introduced to the world on the back end of me being in college. So, that we couldn't connect that way or whatnot. I don't remember having no real close relationships with anybody.
So who was a teammate that you were really close to at Florida State?
Ooh, I got a couple of good relationships with some guys. I developed a great relationship with Dakota Watson. He played 10 years in the league, and now he's got his own tequila business going. He got a couple other investments.
Okay.
Tony Carter, actually I'm going to see him tonight. Tony played 10 years in the NFL too as well, from Jacksonville, Florida. Great guy.
Yeah.
Through that small period of me not getting drafted and training and trying to figure out what the next step in my life, Tony had helped me out in some stuff that I'll never forget him for that.
Right.
Nigel Bradham, that was my boy. We was click tight when we was at Florida State. This, another linebacker that, country boy.
Yeah.
He's from McCullough. and what colors outside of Tallahassee.
Right.
But a small town, same environment how we are down here in Sumter County.
So he had that mentality too.
Had that mentality, but he was a baller. He was a footballer, and we definitely connect really, really well. Great guy. We still keep in touch with each other to this day.
Gotcha.
I went on a couple of vacations on trips with him and his fiance. My boy Vince Williams. Vince played 8-9 years in the NFL too as well for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay.
He's from Polk County.
Okay.
I forget the name in high school. Davenport. Yeah. Davenport.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Davenport. And
that's barely Polk County.
It's barely Polk County, but
it is Polk County. You're right.
He gonna rep his county now.
Yeah, I got some friends down there. They're barely on the line there.
But he's a very, very intelligent football player. Yeah. Vince was he talked crap now.
Yeah,
but he backed it up when he played ball.
Yeah, well, that's all that matters.
And he played 8-9 years in the league. Now he's just retired. He's still living in Pittsburgh with his wife or whatnot, doing really well with his twin boys, and I think he just not recently had another child. EJ Manuel, he's commentating for ACC Network. I think he lives down in Miami. My boy Rodney Hudson just not recently retired from the NFL after 13 years in the league. Great player, but even more a better person.
Right.
We was like that in college or whatnot because our similarities is how we carry ourselves. I went to his wedding. He invited me to his wedding. He married his college sweetheart.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's beautiful. I think he's now living in Miami too as well.
Okay.
And trying to figure out the next steps in his life. So. Yeah. I got some relationships with guys that I played with, and the bonds that you'll never lose,
right? You'll
whatnot, because just like I got my boys here, and that I went to high school with, I got my boys that I went to college with or whatnot, and they all doing well, healthy, taking care of their families and whatnot. So it's pretty cool, having those relationships and whatnot. And,
right.
Later on in life, those be your business partners. Those be your friends that y'all look out for each other in investments and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. They'll have that network,
right?
And that's a huge part of for these your kids that's going off to college. Y'all guys don't be so standoffish. Don't be so antisocial. Create relationships, build bonds,
networking,
because those be the relationships those for the rest of your life.
Yep. So, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So you're done with Florida State.
Yeah.
You did your 4 years, and you had a great career there. What was your next step? What did you want to do?
Well, obviously, just like every young man that's out there pursuing a dream. Obviously, I wanted to play in the NFL. And I gave it my shot. I didn't get drafted. I was undrafted free agent to the Arizona Cardinals at the time. I came out the year of the lockout. I didn't have no OTAs. I didn't have nothing. They called me and caught a flight. I was in Arizona.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was trying to figure out how I'm gonna learn as much of this playbook as possible so I can give myself the best opportunity to play. And then they even drafted a linebacker at the time. And then after the lockout, they brought in a group of free agents that was already vetted. You got guys that they trying to figure out what the contract gonna look like.
Right.
And I went from being the third team linebacker to out of the room.
Right.
Once they dropped that the lockout, one night, and I thought I would have made that team due to the fact that my athleticism, my football IQ, but it didn't work out, and I didn't go into a dark hole or nothing like that. I went back to work.
Right.
So after I got cut, I told my agent, fly me to Omaha. I need to get some film. At the time, Omaha, Nebraska, Nighthawks, they had called me.
Okay.
And they wanted to sign me or whatnot. I said, cool, I'm going to sign up with the first team that's going to give me opportunity to get some game film. So I signed with them, and that was in the UFL. After 4 weeks, that crashed. I'm like, what the freak? And it crashed because they couldn't afford the way that paying the players the way they was paying us.
Right.
And so, that after 4 weeks, that crashed. And so when I came back to Florida, came to my mama's house, and every day I was driving back and forth to Tampa. I was going out there training with a trainer that I met. And, I liked the training, but I didn't like the style, it was too much more of a college setting. I just, I went back to Tom Shaw. And, he originally trained me coming out,
Right.
And I stayed there and, I said, I'm going to just train until I get a call. And I went a whole year, no call, no nothing. And at that point, I was starting to like, okay, this might not work out for me.
Right.
But, I had people in my corner telling me like, keep training, keep training.
Right.
I trained, I would, just getting my Bible every day, building my faith. And then I finally got a workout with a Canadian team at the end of 2012.
Okay.
And I killed the workout. At that point in time, I was training so much. I lost the weight that I needed to lose. I was running the times I needed to run. I was strong. I was ready to play ball.
Right.
The Hamilton Tigers wanted to sign me, and so I remember the workout. I had the workout on my birthday, December 3rd. Me and my boy Terrence Parks. He played at Florida State too.
Okay.
And he had a workout with him too as well, and they wanted to sign both of us. So but the only thing I had to do is I had to wait till that next summer.
Right.
To go to the camp.
Right.
So I said, I'll just train and to camp. I'm gonna be ready. And in that process of me waiting, that's when God intervened. That's when God came in and said, hey, you're doing something different. The back of January, the end of January, Tom Shaw approached me and he asked me, he's like, you ever been interested in being a strength coach or being a coach? I was like, yeah. I said, but at the moment, I don't want to play. I don't want to give up on playing.
Right.
He's like, all right, cool. He said, get your resume together or whatnot. He says, the opportunity that's presented itself, and I want you to have that. I want you to get the job.
Right.
I said, all right, cool. So I got my resume together. I sent it to him. He said, yeah, the Cowboys got to open a position for a strength coach. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I said, I'm going to go on this interview. I said, I'm not getting this job. And that's just me being honest with myself. Being a realist.
Yeah.
So, I got my resume together. He put his letter of recommendation on there, sent it to Mike Warsick, which Mike Warsick was the head strength coach with the Cowboys at the time.
Yep.
And so, they flew me out on a Wednesday, flew me back to Florida that same day after the interview. And, I said, in my head, I'm like, let me get back to training. Yeah. Because I'm going to get ready to go to Canada.
Yeah.
And, the next day I got a call and Mike called me. He said, Kendall, we weighed out our option. You our guy. And so the first thing I did is I called, the people that's important to me. My life, my mom, my dad, Highness is one of the guys I called. Richard Kelly was one of the guys I called. Terrell Buckley. I called Terrell because these people that's important to me, and I just asked them what y'all think, what y'all think I should do, and everybody else there, even for Your Highness to be young at the time, us being young men, the answers that they gave was very, very is impactful on my life due to the fact that they looked at the bigger picture.
Oh yeah,
and it's like, Kendall, you I know you love football, but they look at the bigger picture. You're going to be around the game. You ain't beating up your body. And you can make a career out of this. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's your decision, but that's how we feel. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I appreciate them for giving me that advice because, I feel like I made the best decision by, giving up on football. Like, this is 24, 25-year-old Kendall.
Yeah.
This is not no old man. I can still play ball.
And ain't what you want to hear.
I ain't want to hear.
Right.
But, it's something a decision I had to make, and I prayed on it heavy.
Right.
And prior to that opportunity presenting itself, like I said, I dove into my faith because I didn't know what to do because, I had a college degree.
Right.
But I have no wife, no kids. I had nothing tying me down. Right. And I didn't know what to do, what I was going to do in my life.
Right.
You know what I mean? I remember calling my mom and asking her, I said, well, Mom, how did you manage to raise 3 kids at the age of 25 and you didn't have no degree, And she told me, she said, baby, I have my faith. I work hard and have my faith. And, you know what I mean? Faith, hard work, they play intertwine with each other.
Coexist.
There's not one without the other. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? I took that in and I embraced that. And, you know what I mean? I feel like I made the best decision, not only for me, but for my family. And, you know, and also the people that's around me, they're proud of me. They're happy that I'm doing what I'm doing, because at the end of the day, it's showing other people that it can be done, you know? You know, that was a big bullet that I had to swallow, though. Yeah. The sheer fact of me being on staff, and I'm seeing guys that's playing ball, and I'm like, you couldn't play ball at Southside High School. No disrespect to you, but also I also realized that at that moment in time, that's their path. Yeah, this is my path.
That's their journey.
You got your path. He got his path.
That's right.
And so therefore, he deserves to be in the NFL. Right. You supposed to be where you at. Right. And I accepted that as a man, and you know what I mean. I feel like I did a good job on making that decision, due to the fact that I was a little salty that I didn't make it. You know what I mean. But I'm not a hater. You know what I mean. And then also, I feel like God put me in my position for different reasons. Yeah. I love, you know what I mean, giving good advice to a young man. I love telling a guy that's confused or don't understand the situation he's in, and guiding them and trying to mold him to be a better man, not just a better football player, but a better man, you know.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following: Pat's Taps at Catfish Johnny's. Pat's Taps is Lake Pennsauken's newest tap room, offering 14 rotating craft beers on tap. We also offer bottled domestic beers, seltzers, ciders, and wine, as well as a variety of appetizers and pub food. Our family-friendly tap room is a great place to come hang out and enjoy some one-of-a-kind craft beer. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, or the Untapped app. Is the exterior of your home or business covered in dirt, mildew, or mold? Driveway or walkway stained? Pressure King can make your siding, deck, vents, and concrete look new again with no damage. Pressure King has cleaned the exterior of houses and businesses all over Sumter County area. Usually it takes less than a day and costs less than you would expect. Call AJ at 352-457-7209. Lindsay Vanderwall Photography offers natural light photography for any occasion. With over 10 years of experience in the industry, we promise you professionalism and quality photography always. Affordable pricing for weddings, sports, family, and senior sessions. Contact today to book.
Every time that we get a rookie, you know what I mean, I'm hard on my rookies. Yeah. And they're like, you know what I mean, Coach, you the youngest. Well, at the time, Coach, you the youngest coaching staff. Why you hard on rookies? I said, because y'all come in thinking y'all got it figured out. Yeah. In all reality, y'all don't have it figured out. You know what I'm saying? You know, athletes, you know what I mean, we have a tendency to, we've been told we're the greatest thing since sliced bread since we was a child. Oh, yeah. And then a lot of them now don't never work a day in their life. Yeah. So, you know, I want to say this without nobody getting offended, but, you know what I mean, you're spoiled, you know what I mean? And then what happens is when that the game is taken away from you, you don't know what to do.
What are you going to do, man?
And so that's why I'm always telling don't spend your money. Don't spend all your money. Stop chasing the women. Yeah. Don't get enamored. Don't be reading your news clippings. Don't get enamored about, because your head's getting blown up. Your head's getting big. Right. And then once something happened, or injury happened, or the game comes to an abrupt stop, you don't know what to do because you haven't taken the guidance. Right. You don't know. You've been making the wrong decisions. And now you went from being 18-year-old, 17, 18-year-old kid, you know, now you're 25, 26, 27, and you still at that same, mentally you still at that same point at like when you was 18, because you didn't grow, you didn't learn. Yeah. You just said, I do what I want because, you know, I'm a football player or I'm an athlete, and it don't go like that, you know what I mean? I feel like, you know what I mean, God has put me in a situation to guide, to help, you know what I mean, to show or influence some of these young men that it's bigger than football. You know what I mean? My coworker, he says that you got to become a professional in something else other than sports. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, you know, let's say for instance you have a successful career in the NFL, play 10, 15 years in the league. Yeah. 30, 35 years old. You still in the prime of your life.
Yeah.
You got your 40s, you got your 50s, you got your 60s, and Lord's Wood 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if you ain't figured out what you need to do with your money and your finances and made the right decisions on the front end, then you're going to find yourself in shambles on the back end.
Absolutely.
And so I don't think these kids understand, and they get caught up and they get, like I said, don't get enamored by your punches. My boxing coach telling me, don't get enamored by your punches. The reason being, okay, I'm throwing a good cross. He feeling my jab. Oh yeah, boom, then you got knocked out.
Right.
You life done came back and hit you in your mouth and you didn't realize you got hit.
Yep.
So don't get enamored by your punches. Don't read your news clippings. Humble yourself. Bring yourself back down to earth. Right. Now, I ain't saying don't be confident in yourself.
Right.
Be a confident.
There's a big
difference.
Yeah.
Be a confident athlete because that's what make you who you are.
Yeah.
But
there's a big
also
difference between confident and cocky.
Come back down to earth. You know, and that's why I love a guy like Deion. Deion said, "Don't let don't confuse my confidence with cockiness."
Right.
You know what I mean? He walks around like I'm the man.
Yeah.
I had to explain this to my friend. They was like, man, athletes, why they walk around the way they walk? I said, because they confident. They confident in themselves.
Right.
They're good at what they do.
Right.
You know what I mean? When they step on that field, you got to have that mindset. Whoever's across from me, you gonna feel me.
Yeah.
And whatnot. And I'm finna own you for all 60 minutes. And I said, that's the walk of an athlete.
Yeah.
They deserve to walk around that way.
Yeah.
But also come back down.
Yeah.
Come back down. Because at that point, nobody don't want to be around you.
Right. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So, what's your favorite thing about the Cowboys?
My favorite thing about the Cowboys, man, working for them in general, or just
everything,
always through and through.
As a whole, like your favorite thing, you're like, man, this is what I'm proud to be a part of.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Every morning I wake up, you know what I mean, and you know, like your Highness say, I wake up and I work out on my own pride. To me, actually putting my guys through training or just start my day at work. One of my favorite things to do is to be able to, especially when I'm outside or because it's always dark out there. My favorite thing to do is to be able to just to pray and thank God for it's surreal to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not. I'm 11 years in, it still blow my mind that what I do for a living.
Yeah.
And it's not the fact that I work for the Cowboys, the fact that I'm literally training pro athletes and getting paid for it and whatnot. It's amazing to me.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? I'm having my talks to myself with me, God, and myself. And
just having some reflection time.
And I'm like, man, like this is, you know what I mean? I could be in a cubicle. I can be locked up. I can be 6 feet. It could be a whole bunch of things that situations I could be in, but I'm here. Yeah. And I don't take it for granted. Yeah. You know what I mean? It pushes me. It motivates me. Yeah. You know what I mean? You know, I told you earlier that I'm trying to finish up my master's right now. Right. Life is, you know what I mean, has a way, especially in my life, of continue to keep me motivated. Right. You know, sometimes people get to a point where they're not motivated no more. You know what I mean? In my life, I think, you know what I mean, God has put me in situations that I'm staying motivated and I'm not staying stagnant. Right. You know what I mean? I'm going to be the type of person, I'm going to be like 90 years old, like, then got another goal set, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm trying to reach it, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so, you know, one of my favorite things about working for the Cowboys is the sheer fact that I can wake up every day and I'm still like hungry. Yeah. I'm still like, you know what I mean? I'm not satisfied or whatnot. And, you know what I mean? I tell people, I say, I only been in the championship one time, and that was me in high school. Yeah. You know what I mean? I couldn't do it in college. I said, so we got to get one or whatnot. And then once I set that goal or that goal is accomplished, okay, on to the next one. Yeah. You know, I ain't getting caught up in look at what the resume I built. No. Yeah. Let's keep on adding. Yeah. Let's keep on adding. So one of the most coolest things about what I do for a living is it's just the sheer fact that I'm waking up every day and I can do it. And I'm been blessed to do that, you know, and it's not everybody can say that, you know. And like I said, I'm always go back to the young kids. Y'all, you are in control of your life, you know what I mean. So don't let nobody else control it because you know what I mean. You not putting in the work, or you're not being disciplined, or you're not consistently. You know, adding on to what you need to put yourself in a situation where you can do what you want to do for a living. So, yeah. Not funny, but inspirational story that I got from Jerry Jones. Mm-hmm.
this has been quite some time, but they went 1-15 back in 91.
I'm glad I went.
Oh, 91. Boy. And it was either that season or the season after that. They were in Washington.
Okay.
And the owner's talking to him and says, yeah, 1-15. That was a bad time in Dallas. And he said, no. He goes, when I was 35 years old, I flew into Dallas airport and tried to rent a car. And the lady ran my credit card. And I didn't have the funds, or I was delinquent or whatever. Maxed out, couldn't use it. She cut the card up right in front of my face. And she said, Mr. Jones, if you paid your bills, you'd be able to get a car. And he said, that was a bad day in Dallas.
Yeah.
And I never forgot that because if you this is a guy who has the Cowboys are the most valuable franchise in the world. Now to hear somebody say that and that actually happened to him, anybody can do anything.
Oh yeah.
Now I know there were risks, and he did a lot of wheeling and dealing with his businesses and stuff. But if you ever hear him talk about it, and I don't know how much he tells the team, whatever, or banquets or whatever, he talks about it a lot.
Yeah.
But he talks about the struggle. Oh yeah, buying the franchise. They were Donald Trump had a chance to buy the team. He wouldn't do it because he said it wasn't worth the money.
Probably thought it was a bad investment.
He did because at the time it was. They said they owed the bank some ungodly amount of money every day. They were losing.
Yeah. Well, the Joneses they do a hell of a job at. They do a hell of a job in marketing their team. Yeah. You know, I mean, for it to be the most valuable franchise, you know, I mean, in sports, or the most well-known franchise in sports, you know, I mean, they're putting in some work. You know, what I mean, we haven't won a championship in some time now, and it's due time for one. Yeah, it's due time.
I was in 8th grade last time. 8th grade. That was 95, 96. Yeah, it's been a while.
It's due time for one, but they do, like I said, they do a great job as far as utilizing that star. You know, when somebody, a former employee worked there, told me Jerry can throw a star on the side of a donkey. And it's gonna sell. It's gonna sell, and it took for me to actually be working there now to realize, you know what I mean, the fan base. You know what I mean, like I said, I'm from Florida, you know, and you know, we didn't have no pro favorite. I didn't have a favorite pro team coming up. Right. I remember the first time we played against Kansas City in Kansas City, and I'm standing on the sideline. This is my first year. Or it may have been my second year. And I'm like, wow, these Cowboys fans in Kansas City. And as I'm saying that to myself, but I said it out loud to myself, one of the players walked past. He said, Coach, he said, when they say this is America's team, Coach, this is America's team. Yeah. And they travel so well. Really well. When we go to the West Coast, any stadium, that's our stadium. Yeah. I remember playing against the Chargers last year in SoFi, the new SoFi stadium. Oh, yeah. It got to the point where, the Rams, it got to the point where our fan base took over the whole stadium. Oh, yeah. The old San Diego, when there was the San Diego Chargers, we ran that stadium. But when I came down here, the first time we played against Tampa, it was mind-blowing to see all the fans in Tampa. You know what I mean? And then once I got the job here, you know what I mean, you got your friends and your family members that you don't know that was Cowboy fans. They're like, oh man, I've been a Cowboy fan since 93. Yeah. You know, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know that the fan base for the Cowboys, the fan base for the Steelers, the fan base for San Fran, those organizations, the Raiders, those
older franchises, they got so many Dolphins.
They got so many fans everywhere. And you know what I mean, like I said, Jerry and his family does a great job at making sure that star is relevant, you know what I mean?
Well, you know, a lot of people, you know, on Thanksgiving, I know where you're going to be. You know, I don't even have to ask you. I know where you're going to be. Yeah. Having said that, Detroit and Dallas were the only ones that wanted to play on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Now everybody says, well, that's not fair. They ought to let somebody else play. You didn't want to do it then.
Yeah. But that's what's make Jerry such a genius, because those games that nobody don't want to take, I'll take it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
He always finds a way to put his team on TV.
Oh, yeah.
Whether they the worst team in the league, whether in the middle of the pack, or they're the best team in the league. But he finds a way to get them on TV.
He is pretty much single-handedly, it might not all be him, but I'm going to go ahead and give him credit, single-handedly responsible for Fox.
Oh, yeah.
He is the reason why the Cowboys are on Fox.
Oh, yeah. He does a great job. You know what I mean? I didn't realize he was behind a lot of what the NFL is today.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's an innovator.
They inducted him into the Hall of Fame, and you know what I mean? At first I was kind of confused, because I figured that was coaches and players, but then once I kind of got to learn, I figured I had learned his resume or work. Yeah. I said, yeah, he deserved it.
He's a national champion.
I said he does. Yeah, at Arkansas.
Yeah. Him and Jimmy Johnson. Played together.
Yeah, and so it's when you see some of the work that he put in, as far as his love of the game. He loved football. And the love of him waking up every day and him being the age that he is, and how he go about it, how enthusiastic he is.
Yeah.
You could tell he's all in, and it's bleeding into his family and into his kids, his grandkids.
Right.
They understand it and whatnot, and it's a family ran business.
Right.
But they love football. All his grandkids either play ball.
Yeah.
Or they was around it. So he does a great job, and that's what makes them who they are today.
Yeah.
And being around that, you'll be an idiot if you didn't pay attention and take mental notes or whatnot on how.
Look at all these stadiums being built. Do you think that was because of him?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
He had a lot to do with that. The moment that we opened up our facility. Our new facility, he had half the league owners there, just to show them that this is. And then when I seen that, I said, "Yeah, the whole NFL spot has changed."
Yep.
You know what I mean? Miami done built their new facility, and they got their stadium. You got SoFi over there in LA. Stadium, you got Minnesota, they got a new stadium, you got all these teams that starting to change because it's making them, it's putting them in a position where they're making great money. And in the NFL, obviously we draft guys, but in that free agency, if you got a nice facility, you got a nice place that this player can come, take care of his body, and then he might choose, I want to sign with this team versus signing with that team. It's a smart, it's in a sense, it's kind of recruiting in a sense as well. So they do a great job, and like I said, I'm very observant. I'm like a sponge, I'm taking it all in, because regardless of the fact, once I do walk away from the coaching aspect of it, I do want to have some stuff going for myself and whatnot. And while I'm still coaching like Pop Warner or high school ball or whatnot, but you'll be a dummy to not pay attention to how they move and how they go about things, because they're so business savvy. You know what I mean? Right. Now it's all ball,
right? But
then also there's this side to it that we don't understand. True. That it's business. You know what I mean? I tell anybody. I tell the players. I say, it's football, but it's corporate America. Right. No matter what. It's still corporate America.
Still business.
It's the way you carry yourself, the way you go about it. It's still business before anything. So that's how, they do a great job.
Yeah. Promotional consideration paid for by the following. Catfish Johnny's Restaurant, serving the Lake Pennsauken and surrounding areas since 1990. For the last 33 years, we have strived to serve great food at great prices and a friendly, casual atmosphere. If seafood isn't your thing, our burgers or wings are the best around. We have daily specials too. Check us out on Facebook or Instagram for more information. Duto Realty is a homegrown business with an eye for getting the job done right. From football games to Sunday school and everything in between, these ladies care about our community and the people in it. Helping buyers and sellers in all of Florida with all types of transactions, including residential, commercial, farm, or vacant land. They do it all. They even offer auction services and sellouts to always get the job done right. Well, man, I tell you what, I'd love to have you back on it. That's all I want. I would do a whole podcast just about the Cowboys. Dude, I'm telling you.
I know you would. We're gonna get to that.
My dad and I, we we are such. You can ask anybody.
Yeah.
My dad's been a diehard Cowboys fan all my life, and I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it helped with all the Super Bowl years, and watching that. But now listen, it's the good, the give and take. You get the good and bad. I had them years where we went, 5-10, 3 years in a row. It's awful every year. I got to hear it. I got Corey Moore talking about his Niners. Gonna beat you again.
It's crazy. So I try my best not to get into it with fans.
It doesn't make sense to do that.
And this has been since college. And I realized at a younger age that the game's been looked at differently from somebody that's looking at it from the outside in versus somebody that's a part of it.
Right.
Now that's make me better than you? No, it don't make me better than you. But I say, you know what, Kendall, don't, because I remember when I had Twitter.
Yeah.
And Twitter at the time, when I had it was somewhat fully fresh. But then I was like, okay, I like Twitter and I'm getting more and more followers or whatever. But then I'm looking at the tweets and I'm looking at all the people talk bad about the Cowboys and talk bad about individual players. And I'm saying to myself, I'm going to say something. I can't do that.
Yeah.
And so I deleted my Twitter. Yeah. And I was like, okay, Kendall, you got to realize that, they have every right to have their opinions.
They got their opinion.
They have every right. You know what I mean? I tell players, I say, you can't knock a fan from saying something because I say, have that check that dropping, they are part of that check.
Yeah, true.
They're investing in your checks. So they're going to speak to have their opinions. I said, just be a bigger man. Yeah. Just be a bigger man. Don't speak on it. Move forward.
Right.
And we got a big, huge fan base. And, one thing about our fans are loyal. Oh, yeah, no doubt. They're extremely loyal. No doubt. And so that's one of the best things I like about Cowboy Nation. Yeah. They're loyal, win, lose, or draw. You know what I mean? Now, you got some fans on other teams, when their team lose, their team the worst thing since
they're
whatever.
Burning jerseys.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But that's one thing I do love about Cowboy Nation, and is that they, whether we do good or bad, they still have our back, you know what I'm saying? And obviously we putting in work so we can make everybody happy and bring a championship home, and it's due time for one. Sure. Like I said, the last time I played in anything that was considered a championship was my junior year in high school, and so it's that time. It's due, man, and you know what I mean. And that's why I wake up every day, and I try my best to think of what can I do to help this team get to where we need to get at. Because I tell my players, my success is not, you lifting these weights and you being the strongest. Right. My success is you being the best player you can be to help this organization do something that, that have been done in years. Yeah. You know what I mean? And my success is seeing you being able to get paid and be able to feed your family. Yeah. That's my success. It's I love when a kid comes in, whether he's a free agent or he's a draft pick, and he put in the work, and he's blessed because he put in the work. The fruits is his labor. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's a joy to my heart. I don't want nothing from you. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you're successful, I'm successful. Yeah, you know what I mean? So the Cowboy Nation though it's been rocking for a long time, way before I even got there, and it's gonna continue to rock after when I'm done. So
I'm ready to go, man. I'm ready for week one. I'm ready for the Giants coming home. Ready for it.
It's gonna be I feel like we're gonna have a good season. We just gotta stay healthy, you know what I mean? And I'm excited, you know what I mean? I'm excited. I've been excited for the my last 11 seasons, but I'm excited because you got a young team. We got a bunch of guys that love each other. Yeah, they love up on each other on the field, in the locker rooms, outside of the field. I listen to stories of them hanging out. Absolutely, you know what I'm saying, doing team oriented things, and so I'm looking forward to the 2023 going to 2024 season. So it's gonna be fun, and I pray a healthy season on everybody. You know what I mean? Whether we're going into high school ball, college ball, pro ball, I want everybody to come out of this thing healthy. We signed up for it, so we know what comes with it. Right. It's a true blessing to be a part of a game that, that, you know, everybody want to play, but not everybody good enough to
Absolutely.
play or whatever. And I'm still a part of it, whether I'm you know, a lot of people like, you know, dang, Kendall, you know, you've been, it's 11 years now, it's 11 seasons. I said, yeah. It's shocking to me too.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
after year one, I didn't think I was going to be there. You know what I mean? But that's just me, you know what I mean, keeping myself, you know what I mean, grounded, you know what I mean?
Right.
Not thinking that you know what I mean, whether or not, you know what I mean, I'm in a situation and it's all me. Yeah. It's never all me. You know what I mean? It's the people that surround me that got me in that situation, and it's my faith with the man above that got me in that situation.
Absolutely.
So,
100%.
Yeah.
Well, Kendall, I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing wrapped up, and I appreciate you coming by. Guys, if you're ever watching a Dallas Cowboy game, you'll see Coach Mike McCarthy's bodyguard. Kendall is floating around there somewhere. You look for the man with the beard. That's what I always say. There's Kendall. Every time I see him, I point him out.
I try my best not to be seen, man, but you know what I mean, it's my assignment, you know what I mean, and I'm the get back coach. Yeah. So
I love being the get back coach. I was that last night.
I heard you.
Yeah, he's like, get back.
It's rough on the pro level, you know what I mean, but you know, I do it, you know what I mean, and then in the game, you know, obviously, but you know what I mean, I'm assigned to be in a certain area, and I try to take knees, and I try not to be seen because, you know, I don't want people thinking that I'm trying to get my 5 minutes of fame, man. I can care less about being on TV, man. I want my boys to win.
That's right. That's right.
So it's a true blessing.
So with that being said, man, I wish you luck. Hey, go Cowboys. How about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys, baby? Seriously, like, you know, good luck.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Continue success, man. We're in your corner. We're rooting for you. I've been rooting for you since day one.
I'm glad I was able to come down and make a show.
I'm glad you got to come on. I've been like, man, I got to get him on here. And
I've been checking you out, man. You're doing a hell of a job, man. And
thank you.
You know, I mean, we got a lot of good like players and coaches that's here, and they get to tell these kids a little bit of feedback and a little bit of tradition behind how things are done at South Sumter High School, and you know what I mean, the people. It's all about the people, man.
Absolutely.
And you know, I appreciate you inviting me. You know, I know Your Highness had, when he found out that I was coming down for the game, because this weekend was my first high school game that I was able to make since me graduating from here.
Oh, wow.
It's just, you know what I mean, because I've been so, you know what I mean, caught up with football.
You've been kind of busy.
He's been kind of busy. And so last year, once we had this same weekend off, but I felt weird leaving. Yeah, because this is the time of the year I'm in the cubbyhole working.
Oh yeah.
I don't come back up to February.
Yeah, you're in go time.
And so, you know what I mean, once he found out, he said, "You want to do the show?" I was like, "Nah, I don't want to do so." He said, "Man, why not?" and I'm always worried about, you know what I mean, speaking, and I get nervous, sweating, whatever case. I'm always worried about that stuff.
Did a great job.
And you know, and I thank you. I appreciate you. And so, you know,
and I'd love to have you back on, man. Oh yeah. You just come on down. You know where we are.
Whenever you want me back, you man. If I got the opportunity or I got the time, I'll definitely come back, man.
Yes, I appreciate that. Yeah. I appreciate your time.
I appreciate you, man.
Hey, good luck today. I know you're going up to Florida State. Good luck, man.
Good luck.
Beat them Tigers.
We're going to have business this weekend.
Hey, beat them Tigers. That's all I got to say.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Kendall, I appreciate you, man. We'll catch you next time.
Yep.
Guys, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Don't forget to subscribe and follow Facebook, Instagram, Twitter as well, and subscribe on YouTube and follow on Spotify. So with that being said, y'all have a great day, and we'll catch you next time. Guys, it's about that time.
All right.
How about that, Cowboys?